What's up, Los Angeles? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. This game had everything. It had everything and just enough for the Seattle Seahawks to eke out a victory in the unlikeliest of circumstances, I would say. The strangest of circumstances. I have never seen an overturned backwards pass turned into a 2-point conversion. And that was not on my bingo card. I did not expect to see that.
It's a first. It's a first.
I'm your host, Ryan Anderson, joined as always by Aaron Coscarelli. Aaron, just first visceral open wound thoughts on this. I think I unplugged your camera again.
Oh, what is happening? Hold on. Why is it doing that? Lost connection. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, she's in unusual circumstances. She's taking care of a friend at a new location. So
my awesome friend duties.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her service is probably not stellar. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Am I super delayed too?
No, I think this is our best connection so far.
This is going to be as good as it gets, guys. As good as it gets. There's so much that happened in this game. I feel like I've watched 5 NFL games in one. I now understand why my mom does not watch the end of Dodger games. She refuses to. I'm like, I just didn't even want to see how this game ended. I just had a weird inkling.
I walked out of the room for that field goal, that missed field goal. I was like, I don't want to see what's going to happen. If whatever happens, I'm not going to be in the room for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, interrupted.
No, please interrupt. Please interrupt. Look, I think we represent the spirited Rams heartbeat because of what the team, for me at least, what they went through this week. McVay has a baby on Monday. They have to prepare for a short week up against a team that has a very hostile fan base in Seattle. Tip my cap massively to Darnold. Darnold is a fellow Trojan. And he had struggled, and he would, the joke was always he would see ghosts against this Rams defensive line, which gave him a very tough task at times. I think he was sacked 4 times. I haven't really even looked at the box score because I'm just trying to decompress from a very up and down game. But look, they gave him their best shot and the better team at the end of the day. Darnold showed impressive poise. They converted 2 to 3 different 2-point conversions. That's not easy to do against this team, and they came up big against the Rams, and a lot was on the line. So I think it was an amazing game. Didn't go the Rams' way, but this isn't the first time this team has been dealt adversity, and that's my initial reaction. How about yours?
Yeah, there's things I could pull at right now, and we can get into it. But I'll say, coming into this game, same as the previous game, I was saying these are gonna be close games. These are 2 very equally matched. We've got Mike McDonald, kind of the new defensive mind in the league. We've got Sean McVay, still innovating, still throwing it together. You having a little whiskey there?
No, it's just rosé.
Oh, okay. A little more brown, yeah. So the fact that it came down to overtime, super aggressive play. Coming out of the previous matchup, I said, why was Mike McDonald so conservative in the red zone? And when he got to the goal line, not this game. He pulled the rabbit out of the hat in that one. And then tip of the cap to Sam Darnold. I gotta say it as well on that, when they needed to have it in the overtime. He was between he and Smith and Jigba, they were making some Stafford Puka Nacua type plays. And when a team is doing that, there's just not a lot of answers to it. Case in point, the Rams on the other side, their offense was incredible. And, if I want to start pulling at things, I'm going to look to those first two drives. Well, the second and the third drive, when they got down there and they settled for field goals.
Well, and that Mavis missed kick, his first miss, perfect snap. That I felt like the game was a game of momentum, as it has been this entire season.
Great call.
The Rams are down and they're feeling a little bit backs against the wall. It really depends, and we saw several different momentum shifters in this particular game. But when that missed kick happened, you could just see in McVay the exhaustion of what could possibly else go wrong. Missed flights, your kid's born on a Monday, you're exhausted, you got to do a quick turnaround. I've not heard this directly from McVay, but sources have said he doesn't like these quick turnarounds because it throws off the routine and the structure that they have in place. The guys all have to do walkthroughs. There's very little like in practice play. It's all walkthrough. Very little game tape, and I don't know. I mean, not that both of these teams have changed much, but you're going up to Seattle and you're without Davante. You're without Braden Fiske. It changes things.
Yeah. Fiske played a limited amount of snaps. Kobe Turner really stepped it up. I have to say, interception, big sack, super proud of that guy. And you brought up Davante. What is his main contribution been? Red zone touchdowns. You go back to those two early red zone trips, and they couldn't get it done without him in there. And they got stuff figured out. And this offense was going nuts, and didn't, it kind of looked like the Seattle defense had no answers for them. But when, again, tip of the cap to them when their backs were against the wall, maybe one of their best defenders, Nick Amon-Mori, goes out, and they just step it up. They, this is a good team, guys. I mean, obviously, you're in the fourth quarter, you're up by 16 points. You're going to want to pull that out. But to TBD's point, some special teams mix-ups, some special teams flaws, really cost him. And I would say that was probably one of the biggest swings in momentum. And I'm not a momentum guy. I'm a stats guy. Momentum doesn't come out in stats, but you could feel that the Seattle Seahawks, they're the Undertaker, that Undertaker meme where he comes up out of the coffin. You could feel it. That defense was playing a lot better. It seemed to revive the team when Rashid Shaheed was able to return that punt for a touchdown. And when McVay constricts, you feel it. And I think
what do you mean by that? Elaborate.
Well, he gets a little bit more conservative. His play calling book.
But you think he was conservative? He was calling fourth down, and he was trying to take shots fourth down. But you mean
fourth quarter period?
Oh yeah,
that's all I mean. Is like it. What were the drives in the fourth quarter for this team? What were the outcomes anyway? Touchdown. Seattle threw an interception. Punt. Seattle scored a touchdown on 2 plays. Punt. Missed field goal, punt. That was the fourth quarter, and what were those drives were 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 7 plays. That was the missed field goal, 7 plays for 37 yards. So, obviously the Seattle Seahawks defense was stepping it up, putting more pressure, leaning into that because their backs were against the wall. And it just kind of, it got away from McVay. I feel like, do I think that the special teams coordinator should be fired? Kind of like that guy. Chase Blackburn's a nice fella. I think he's probably the best they've had in a while. But obviously they need to do some investing in the position. Figure out the kicker. Again, we're in this position where kicker is a problem. I was saying in those weeks with Cardi, if if a playoff loss happens because of a missed field goal, that's unacceptable. And this feels like a playoff loss. And I'll tell you why. It feels like a playoff loss to me, because their chances of landing the number 1 seed have gone down to 20%, according to the Athletics models. Their chances of locking up the division is now at 24%, whereas the Seattle Seahawks is at 55%. And those pesky 49ers with a 99% chance to make the playoffs have a 22% chance of getting winning the division. So they're gonna have to play the rest of the year. The schedule isn't. They got the Falcons. Don't sleep on the Falcons. They still have weapons. And then they got the Cardinals there to finish it off. But they're gonna have to win both of those games. There's no resting starters. And if they want to take this thing, with the number 1 seed or win to the division, so they're not just a wild card team. Anyway, it just shows you how, with those 3 teams, the Niners, Seahawks, and these Rams, winning so many games, how tight and constricted that gets. It's a math problem for another day. But yeah, I mean, Stafford MVP, I think that hype is still out there. I think
Stafford MVP is, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Look, and the other thing I actually really thought about, I mean, it would have been even more incredible if the Rams ended up eking out a win, considering the kind of week that they had. But Stafford took so many shots. You saw him come up kind of wincing in pain. It seemed like, it was like a rib shot or something when he was taken down, and you just see him kind of dial it up. He's like, all right, let's go. And that guy is so durable. There's no chance, even though he was in the medical tent, of him not being available. You saw, the TV panning on Jimmy Garoppolo, like there was a chance that maybe Garoppolo would go in. And obviously if Stafford was significantly hurt, but there was absolutely no chance that guy's,
yeah.
Even if he's significantly hurt, he's still playing. And, it was a great game. I appreciated, even after the game, you saw Stafford and Cooper Kupp kind of, talk it out or chit chat a little bit. And that's always such a tough loss. But I think there's a lot of, oh my God, I'm not even talking into the mic. Can you hear me okay? Good God.
Yeah. You sounded a little bit tinny, but I thought maybe it was the
oh my God, I think my mic is not on. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Well, you bring up the Stafford injury, and there couple injuries kind of note in this game. Dotson goes down. I mentioned Amenwari already, which is a problem for a different team, but also Alaric Jackson went into the tent, missed maybe one snap. Maybe he came back in. Yeah, it's and then Dotson and Avila, Stafford. Those are the 3 that I was going to mention. Well, let's just take this question before I get into the Puka Nacua news of it all. Kelly Witherspoon, again, a healthy scratch. Now I don't think we're getting your mic. Can you give us a test?
Oh,
there we go. Check. It was on mute.
And what is McVay? Kelly Witherspoon. Yeah, they're just leaning into the 3 outside guys that they have there: Emmanuel Forbes, Kobe Durant, Darius Williams. Josh Wallace has had himself a good game playing at nickel. Got himself an interception. Still playing like an inexperienced player, but playing well. I don't know what's up with Akello. I don't know. I mean, why not at least have him in uniform on the sidelines? Maybe you like the 3 guys you have in there, but maybe.
I think you have to think who's taking his place. Obviously, there's somewhere in the roster, whether it's not in the secondary, but it's elsewhere, that maybe they're trying to create depth. I know you've talked about depth being kind of a concern of yours, but I don't know. McVay was asked about it, and he gave his sort of normal PC response about, I don't know, maybe he's just he implied like he wasn't game ready, or giving it to the guys that were, I'm not going to speculate or read between the tea leaves, but Akello's availability is not really the issue here, in my opinion, with regards to this team and the team's loss. It feels like at the end of the day, there are massive momentum shifters, right? Even that PI on Forbes in overtime that led to the first down. I mean, there were just so many things that just seemed strange that happened in this game. The backwards pass that turned into a 2-point conversion that, I mean, I think being that it's such a controversial game and that this is such an important game, I'm shocked that NFL officials called it. But, I mean, I guess if you looked at it from another angle, it did look like a backwards pass. I mean, personally, how did you feel about that?
I thought it was a legit call. I thought they made the right call on the field, honestly. It's one of those plays everybody's got to have their eyes on the ball. So if it's lateral to the line of scrimmage or to from where the passer threw it or behind, and it looked pretty lateral. Yeah. So I think they made the right call. It was just, I mean, I've just never seen that before. I've just never seen that before where everybody was on top of it. And Zach Charbonnet is the one that touched it. And I don't even know.
I don't even know. Did he even realize? Like, he might have just picked the ball up, and Kirk Herbstreit was like, "Good job, I'm like, I don't even think he realized he did that, but maybe
I think he would have dove on it if he was thinking about it in that case. But here, okay, so the Puka Nacua of it all, the things that he said, I don't quote the Bible very often, but even a fool appears wise when they keep their mouth shut. That's paraphrasing the Bible. Puka, just keep your mouth shut on, no more live streams.
I know, yeah.
No more gamer nerds. Get your head in the game. Honestly, it's a short week. We don't need that. But him calling out the refs, I mean, he did it again after the game. This game, he tweeted something out like, thanks for all your help today, referees. Oh. So he's got a fine coming his way, and probably some talking to from coach if he hasn't already gotten one. But if you're a ref and they kind of if a player gives you that kind of ammo that they just want to be on TV, I mean,
that's tough. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't think the refs are really in any way trying to unfairly side. I mean, then that would not be good. But I think personally, I saw in him he came into this game a little steamy. When he got a little chippy with some of the players and made amazing plays. Mm-hmm. And it felt like there was some oomph to his game today based off of kind of what was going on. And personally, I see Puka every day at practice. I can't picture him in any way. He doesn't have a negative spirit about him. And I can't speak to what he meant personally, but my, as a, reporter feet on the ground and how I've interpreted him in the locker room and the reverence he has for the staff, for his home, being from Hawaii, he comes off as a very respectful person. So I feel for him, if this became a thing that really didn't represent who he was. And remember, what is he, 24, 25? It's such a bummer because you're just, you're still so young and you're emotional and your heart is in it. But it's a tough break. And I'm bummed I haven't seen if there was anything he posted, but I can imagine that I'm sure a coach is definitely going to have a conversation with him if he may have said something, because, that does not represent the Rams. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose when and what you say, for sure. And he has complete control of that, regardless of his, anything else. But he ends the day with 12 catches, 225 yards for 2 touchdowns. So 16 targets, 2
crazy catches, crazy game, crazy production. I mean, just passes that no other receiver could make, he makes.
Yeah.
In crucial moments. It's insane.
Yeah. Just he's
yards after catch.
Yeah, and doing it all over the field. Amazing. To Ken Wright's question, what does McVay have against Tutu Atwell? Again, that's something that we've discussed for years now. I've been on and off the Tutu train. Off it once again, no targets for him, but Stafford did end up spreading the ball around. Xavier Smith with a good game. Konate Mumfield, we got to shout him out. Coming into this game, not expecting Davante Adams to play as I was, there was a lot of talk around Konate, as somebody that Davante has taken under his wing. Somebody called him something like a protege, Mike LaFleur,
similar body physique or something, right?
Yeah, similar traits.
Lower body physique.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Who did you think stepped up for that was the question we were kind of all asking. Is there going to be a role or somebody stepping in? Did it seem like that for you this week?
I think it was by committee. A lot of people were pointing toward Colby Parkinson in this game. He didn't have a huge game whatsoever. So Jordan Whittington made a catch. Konate had 3.
Ferguson had some great moments.
Yeah. And Xavier Smith, my guy. You don't know this, but he's my guy. Any guy that's around 5'9", 5'8", that's playing football, just automatically pull in. But fun to see that he showed up. So I think you can definitely feel Davante not on this team. There's not a guy on this team that can replace him. Period, hands down. I mean, you can't replace him. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And as much as I like all these other guys, not Hall of Famers so far. So,
do you try to get him back on the field? Do you rest him? How do you position yourself with Davante?
If they always talk about, not ready to play, but ready, to performance, that's their kind of gauge. So they're gonna play it just right. So whatever do I want him in there? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. If he's ready to go with the Cardinals in week 18, definitely. So what do you think?
Well, it's extending the injury. He was not feeling great heading into, oh my God, I didn't even remember who the Rams. It feels like we've had like a whole season in this one game. Just several different themes. With Cooper and Puka's situation and coach, and just everything has been such a whirlwind this season, just leading up to this game. And round 2 goes to Seattle. But I think you have to do what's right for the player. If the player is still not feeling 100%, leading up to last week's game, he wasn't feeling great, Davante. So then he runs that, runs that route and kind of comes up not feeling great. Do you want to risk him in the event? We don't really know the extent of the injury, although did you notice that the Immortal Chamber was back at Rams facility? I didn't see it, but supposedly it was. So
well, it did good things for Matthew Stafford. So maybe Davante will find that HGH or TRT or whatever they have in there. No, they don't do that. Anyway, heading into week 17, Atlanta Falcons, they get a long extended bye after this one. Monday Night Football is the next game. So another prime timer. Well, we're going to be here for you for sure. Any final thoughts on this game that you gotta fire off, or should we wrap it up?
I just want some moral support here. I feel like it was such what?
Well, I was going to say, am I not supportive enough? last week I was.
You like tension. You like conflict. You're the contrarian. You always ask questions. I'm the perennial optimist in this TV relationship here.
That wasn't the case last week. You were the one that came out of last week negative. I was like, hey, they won. And you're like, but Davante.
Yeah, that's right. Fair point. Fair point. I mean, I don't know. It's Christmas coming up. It's the holidays. I'm sad.
Oh.
No, I thought it was an amazing game, and the Seahawks are such an incredible organization. I love to see Darnold succeed. You know, I mean, look, I always root for the player, not necessarily the organization. Darnold, a fellow Trojan, had, you know, a lot of people discount him, and then he comes out, that 2-point conversion, game's on the line. I mean, that is storybook worthy. When pressure is on the line and they trust you to go for it, and then you go for it and you get the win against a very formidable opponent like the Rams, I'm impressed. And you know, good for Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big last question for him, was like, okay, you can do it, but like, can you do it in the big moments? And this was kind of his coming out party, national television, nails in overtime. You know, everybody's eyes on him for sure. So, and Cooper Kupp, I mean, that fumble, he's only had 7 fumbles his entire career before this. Still,
I know, and it had to be Cooper. It was like, no, not Cooper. Like, you know, you don't want to see that happen to a former Ram who
he got a couple back. He got a couple back.
What do you mean he got a couple back? Yeah, he got a win.
Well, he got a couple catches that were, you know, anyway. Yeah. We don't need to sing the praises before we haven't lost any viewers. So
yeah, they're like, we're never tuning in again. No, look, you win some, you lose some. It is what it is. The Rams are going to always, as they usually do, respond. I think that 2-point conversion will be talked about for a minute, for sure. Play the end of the whistle. And, you know, like, here we are. The Rams still have to fight the rest of the season. They've got 2 more games left. They go on the road to Atlanta, and then they've got a home game against the Cardinals, and they're in the playoffs. So look at the bright side, folks. We're still in it. The Rams are still in it.
100%. And still a great team. Still looked unstoppable on offense. Still incredible. These games are won in the margins. These games are won by 4 or 5 plays. So we'll keep our heads up. And I just want to fast forward to the playoffs at this point. I don't want to watch these. I don't want to watch these games, honestly. I don't want to watch Kirk Cousins. I don't want to watch Jacoby Brissett. But we'll be covering all of it for sure. And we will be back. When I don't even know when I'll be back. I'll be working on Sunday, so I'll cook up something for you guys for sure.
I'll be at, I think we're at Rams on Wednesday. So I'll be there Wednesday, Friday, like normal. Not
and new episode with Cameron Lynch, former Rams linebacker, is up and Adam at YouTube right now. That was a fantastic episode. He shines a lot of light into rivalry games and into this Rams defense. Super bright guy. Go check that out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, you guys are the best. And thanks for the comments. Thanks for checking us out. Go check out Aaron at Aaron Coscarelli across all socials. Rams LAFB on YouTube. Go like and subscribe, please. Helps us out tons. I'm RL Anderson, LAFB Network. Go check out what I've written. If you don't like how I sound, you don't have to listen to me. Until next time.